We've got Sophie Cunningham getting her own shoe and everybody losing their pathetic little minds over it. Well, not everybody. Old WNBA fans, old guard WNBA fans are losing their mind over the white girl pointing at her brand new shoes. Yeah, that's what she's pointing at.
Sophie Cunningham just landed a major milestone in her career, her very own signature-inspired sneaker colorway. Adidas officially unveiled her player-exclusive version of the Crazy Energy, set to release on July 24th with a retail price of $120. The shoe features a striking pink-to-white gradient across the upper, complemented by light blue mesh panels and bold orange accents on the midsole. To make it even more personal, Cunningham's name is incorporated into the design, giving fans a shoe that reflects both her personality and style. As soon as the announcement dropped, social media erupted, with fans praising the vibrant color scheme and celebrating yet another major endorsement moment for one of the WNBA's most recognizable personalities.
Old fans crash out, lose their mind, and scream white privilege. It is hilarious watching these people melt down over the most minuscule things, over the smallest little things. Watching these folks melt down, go hysterical, lose their mind, rant, rave, complain. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Not because everyone was celebrating her success. Quite the opposite. A very specific group of critics simply couldn't stand seeing Sophie Cunningham get her own shoe. The announcement immediately sparked outrage across social media. Comment sections filled up, heated threads appeared on X, and countless hot takes spread across the internet. Ironically, every complaint revealed the same thing. Sophie Cunningham was dominating the conversation. Whether they meant to or not, her critics only amplified her spotlight, proving that she's been living rent-free in their minds for quite some time.
Sophie Cunningham, the blonde bomber, is coming out with shoes. These are so dope. These are her PE colorways coming out with Adidas. Oh my God, Sophie Cunningham, man, just keeps getting better and better by the day, man. I hope these are for men as well, man, because I would like to cop these, man. These are hella dope. Very Sophie type of shoes, man. Like, I don't know. I just look at these and I just see Sophie just all over them, man. These are perfect.
Today, we're diving into everything surrounding Sophie Cunningham's new Adidas player exclusive shoe, from the design itself to the wave of online backlash it sparked. We'll explore why so many critics reacted the way they did, why much of that criticism says more about the people posting it than it does about Cunningham, and why, despite all the negativity flooding social media, this sneaker is still positioned to be a major success. Love her or hate her, one thing is clear. People are talking about Sophie Cunningham, and that kind of attention usually translates into strong sales.
Sophie Cunningham shoe, a PE for Sophie Cunningham got announced. A player exclusive, player edition, whatever PE stands for. She's got her own kind of shoe style. It's coming out. And man, these old guard bitter fans, they are collapsing right in front of our very eye. They're going through a mental breakdown, a psychotic break right before our very eyes.
To understand why this shoe has generated such a strong reaction, you first have to understand how Sophie Cunningham's public image has evolved over the past year. She isn't a player who suddenly emerged out of nowhere. Cunningham has been in the WNBA since 2019, spending the first 6 seasons of her career with the Phoenix Mercury before joining the Indiana Fever. For much of that time, she was known as a dependable role player, a tough competitor, a reliable three-point shooter, and someone willing to do the little things that help teams win. She earned respect around the league for her consistency and effort, but she wasn't the player dominating headlines or driving daily conversations across the basketball world.
Like DB is the one that did something extra, and then Caitlin got the text. So I walked out there and I was literally talking to the ref. Say your DB. I was like this with the ref. I was like, Now, Caitlyn got one, but why didn't she get one? Because if Caitlin's going to get one, then she should have got one. It shouldn't have been one or the other. And I was just kind of pointing, and she's like, don't you point at me. And I was like, oh, shouldn't have said that. And I didn't say a word.
Then came June 22nd, 2026, the moment that changed everything. During a heated game, Juana Bonner got into an on-court confrontation with Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham immediately stepped in, and when Bonner told her to stop pointing, Cunningham did the exact opposite. She kept pointing for nearly 22 seconds, refusing to back down until coaches and staff physically guided her toward the bench. Both players were assessed technical fouls, but the real story began after the final whistle. The clip exploded across social media, spreading far beyond the basketball world. It was turned into countless memes, remixed with movie scenes and music, and even found its way into conversations well outside the WNBA. In an instant, Cunningham became one of the most recognizable names in women's sports. Not because of a box score performance, but because millions of people saw a player who stood her ground in a tense moment and refused to be intimidated.
Cunningham's signature shoe, I'm not gonna lie, this shoe looks amazing, man. I might have to get me a pair. Now, I don't really have anything pink, so that means I probably have to go out and get me a pink shirt or some pink shorts or something, just so it can go with this, man, because these shoes are...
By the end of 2025, Sophie Cunningham's rise in popularity was impossible to ignore. When Google released its annual year in search rankings, she finished as the number 7 most searched athlete in the United States. More notably, she was the only female athlete to crack the top 10, surpassing every other woman in the rankings. Those numbers sent a powerful message. Cunningham's visibility had grown far beyond the basketball court. So when Adidas evaluated its roster and asked which athlete deserved a player-exclusive sneaker, it wasn't making a blind gamble. The company had the analytics, the search trends, and the engagement data, and all of it pointed directly to Sophie Cunningham as one of the most marketable names in women's basketball.
People are in their feelings and upset. They always in their feelings and upset if anything that's connected to Caitlin Clark has anything positive going on. But when it comes to shoes, y'all do know, and I'm talking to all the people way in the back that just don't understand, y'all do know that this is business, right? And when it comes to WNBA players, right, Sophie Cunningham is top 5 in followers on every platform when it comes to WNBA players. So yes, she should be one of the ones that get a shoe.
The shoe itself is genuinely eye-catching. It features a vibrant hot pink upper at the toe that gradually fades into white toward the heel, creating a clean gradient effect. Light blue accents run through the breathable mesh side panels and reappear on the signature 3 stripes, as well as the tongue and heel branding. Bright orange details on the midsole and outsole add another layer of contrast, giving the sneaker a bold, energetic look. The overall design perfectly reflects Sophie Cunningham's personality, confident, fearless, and impossible to ignore. It's the kind of shoe you'd expect from the player who confidently pointed toward the crowd after knocking down the free throws that sealed a Fever Road victory in Phoenix. What makes this release even more significant is Adidas' commitment. The company hasn't given a WNBA player this level of individual recognition since Candace Parker. Cunningham becoming the first player in years to receive a player-exclusive release of this caliber isn't just another sneaker launch. It's a statement that Adidas sees her as one of the league's most marketable and recognizable athletes. That's a major milestone, both for Cunningham and for women's basketball.
Racism, because this player in her career has averaged 8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. Shoes used to mean something. It was like you are at the top of your game in your sport. Players like Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they're actually doing well in the sport. In the same way that in corporate America, white men utilize their privilege of being white men to continue to climb the ladder, Sophie Cunningham has used her proximity to Caitlin Clark and her racist fan base in order to propel herself forward when people who actually deserve it are not given that opportunity.
As soon as Adidas announced the shoe, the backlash arrived almost instantly. Critics flooded social media with comments questioning whether Sophie Cunningham had earned the honor. The most common argument centered on her statistics, pointing out that she averages roughly 8 points per game over the course of her WNBA career. For many detractors, that single number became the entire case against her, as if scoring average alone should determine who receives a signature-style sneaker. The criticism quickly spread beyond simple comments. Long discussion threads appeared across X, sports forums, and basketball communities, with fans insisting that better players deserve the opportunity instead. Some turned the announcement into a broader debate about endorsements, popularity, and marketability, naming specific players they believed should have received a shoe before Cunningham. But the more detailed those arguments became, the more they revealed that the conversation wasn't really just about basketball statistics. It was about who people believed deserved the spotlight, and why Sophie Cunningham's growing popularity had become such a polarizing topic.
What sources does the league provide for you guys as players to kind of help you try to filter through some of the hate and negative things that come through on social media?
I think that, honestly, I don't know what our league does to help with that. If they really do anything, you can put out statements as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you're in an entertainment business. That's when mental toughness comes in. If you're going to live by praise, you're going to die by the hate. And so I think that's on the individual person to have mental toughness. Some people can deal with it, some people can't. And I think you can see the ones who can. And unfortunately, there are some who can't. And it's not beneficial to them. But you can't control what other people say or what other people do. All you can do is control yourself, how you treat people. Speak up, and support people who, maybe don't have a voice or don't have the courage to do that, but it's one of those things. You're in the entertainment business and you have to expect.
Let's talk about the race aspect of this, because it isn't subtle. The backlash surrounding Sophie Cunningham's signature shoe is tied to the same conversation that has followed the WNBA for the past 2 years. Some of the criticism is completely legitimate. There are real debates about marketing decisions, player visibility, and which athletes deserve major endorsement opportunities. Those discussions are fair, but a noticeable portion of the outrage directed at Cunningham, her popularity, her growing profile, and now her Adidas release, comes from people who seem more frustrated that she and Caitlin Clark continue to dominate the spotlight than from any genuine concern about basketball. When some critics call Cunningham undeserving, many fans argue that they're talking about more than statistics. Caitlin Clark herself has publicly condemned racist behavior coming from parts of her own fan base, making it clear that such behavior is unacceptable. WNBA legend Sue Bird has also pointed out that racist abuse toward league players existed long before Clark entered the WNBA, while adding that Clark has often been pulled into a culture war she never created. That is the environment surrounding these conversations today. So when Sophie Cunningham announces her first player-exclusive shoe, and one of the loudest reactions online is simply that she is undeserving, it's worth recognizing that for many people, that single word carries far more meaning than just a debate over points per game.
Here we go! This is going to be fun. Everyone gets one, and I have like 6-7 pairs here.
Oh, 6-7? Oh, see? They're real. They're real.
Only All-Stars wear them. That's why mine are still in the box.
Sophie Cunningham?
I'm busy.
Wow!
The real conversation about whether Sophie Cunningham deserves this shoe has very little to do with points per game. It has everything to do with influence, visibility, and marketability. Right now, Cunningham is one of the WNBA's biggest names. She became one of the most searched female athletes in the United States on Google last year, and her popularity has continued to grow ever since. Her now famous 22-second pointing moment spread across social media faster than almost any WNBA clip in recent memory, reaching millions of people well beyond the league's traditional audience. She also has a genuine relationship with Adidas that dates back to 2022, when she left Nike and joined the brand. Since then, she has consistently promoted Adidas on the court, during national television appearances, and across her own social media platforms. That's exactly what brands look for. They don't just invest in statistics. They invest in athletes who capture attention and connect with audiences. Popularity is the product, and right now Sophie Cunningham has it. Even with a career average of around 8 points per game, her influence extends far beyond the box score, making her one of the most recognizable players in the league, and from a business standpoint, a logical choice for an Adidas player exclusive release.